Well, hello everyone, my name is Zwiggojr, and welcome back to the How Fast Can You Beat Pokemon Platinum series with every single legendary. In the last two runs we did Dialga and Palkia, and this time we will be looking at the third one in the Sinnoh trio, Giratina. Well, Dialga is the god of time and Palkia is the god of space. Giratina is actually the god of hell? Yes. Let's just call it that. While Dialga and Palkia have pretty damn similar stats, Giratina is a little bit different. It is way more bulky than Dialga and Palkia and has way less special and normal attack. While its HP and defenses are absolutely amazing, its attacking stats, as I just said, aren't too great. This might actually be very handy though, because he might not be able to do that much damage, but he is able to take a lot of it. In the end though, I don't know if Giratina is gonna become first, but let's find out right now. In this video, I will be using the normal Giratina. If you guys want me to make the origin form of Giratina video as well, because he has different stats, go ahead and leave a comment down below saying Giratina origin form. As always, don't forget to subscribe because we are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm only 11,000 off at this point, so I really appreciate it if you would click that red button. You all know the rules already, so let's just jump right into this. In the last video, I found out that the I and the J and naming your character, basically one letter, doesn't really make that much of a difference, so I'm just gonna name myself God, and my rival is gonna be Yeet. I know, very original name. We're gonna skip through the first event and head straight to Professor Rowan to get our starter. I'm gonna give my rival the Turtwig line in Torterra because he does get access to Bite and Crunch, which are moves that are super effective on Giratina. I probably shouldn't give my rival the Pokemon that is the best against me though, because I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. It's too late right now. Let's just jump into the first rival fight. A thing that I did see is that Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina start off with the same movesets, all three of them, so Dragon Breath and Scary Face, so this battle is just gonna be the same as the last one, two-shotting the Turtwig with Dragon Breaths. After the rival fight, we go straight to the lake with Cyrus. He gives us the talk about how the world is bad once again, but we're just children, so we don't understand. I then go to the professor's lab to give my Pokemon a nickname, and I'm gonna name him Devil because he's basically the equivalent of the Pokemon Devil. Professor Rowan then asks us if we want to fill out his Pokedex, and you know what I said?
Nope.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy with that. Of course, since we have no idea how to capture a Pokemon, we're gonna have to sit through this annoying capture tutorial. Once again, Game Freak, please just remove these. We don't need them. We're smart. We're big brain. And then we head straight to the trainer school to talk to our rival and deliver his package to him. After playing delivery service for a little bit, it was time for us to get a watch. And not just any watch. It's an ice watch, you know, one of those things kids used to love back in the day. In my day, if you had an ice watch, you would be the coolest kid in the schoolyard. The second rival battle actually goes the same way as with Dialga and Palkia two-shotting the Starly, but there is one difference with Turtwig. Normally I can two-shot him, but Giratina isn't strong enough, so he needs 3 Dragon Breaths to take down a tiny little turtle. This is already a worrying sign. We then go down to the mines, get Rourke, and we can go to his gym. And we can actually reach the gym battle at only 24 minutes, which is for me a new record time. It isn't because Giratina is better than Dialga or Palkia, it's because I'm just getting better at Pokemon Platinum. And while Dialga and Palkia really didn't have any problems with Rourke, I already had my first problem here with Giratina. It was Cranidos, because he has Pursuit, and that's a physical dark type attack which is super effective on Giratina. And Cranidos' attacking stat is through the roof. So if he just hit 2 of them, my Giratina would be down, so the only way for me to take down the Cranidos was to paralyze it with Dragon Breath and then eventually take it out because it couldn't attack. So that is exactly what I did. I was able to eventually paralyze him and do more than enough damage on him to eventually take him out. I was left with only 6 HP, but because of my level up, I did gain a lot of it back. And that level up also gave me a boost in my stats, so we're gonna be able to take down Onyx a lot easier, which we do with 2 Dragon Breaths and get our first gym badge. We do also learn Ominous Wind, which is a move that can also buff up all of your stats, so Giratina can actually learn Ancient Power and Ominous Wind, so double the profits. Bidoof is gonna be our godlike HM Pokemon in this run, so I'm capturing that. We then go to the beautiful flower garden to pick up the Galactic Key and some nice little honey. even though I don't even like honey myself. We then head to the Valley Windworks to battle Mars, and Palkia did have some troubles here because of the Toxic with Zubat and the Perugly being annoying, but my Giratina didn't have any problems here, being able to 2-shot the Zubat and then 4-shot the Perugly, but I got pretty lucky though because the Perugly did get paralyzed, otherwise we probably wouldn't have survived another feint attack. But I'm not complaining, on to the next gym, which we reach at 1 hour and 1 minute. I'm not sure, I think this is also a record time, so Giratina is actually doing very well at this point. While Palkia did have a little bit of trouble with this gym, my Giratina was able to win on my 3rd attempt, which wasn't too bad. It was very nice to get my boosts on my first turn on Tortwig with Ominous Wind and also get a crit, so she would waste a potion as well. And then 2 more Ominous Winds and the little turtle is down. Next up is Charon, so I try one more time to get boost with Ominous Wind, but it didn't work out, so she just sets up a safeguard and I kill it with 1 more Dragon Breath. Roserade actually managed to put up a fight by paralyzing me and hitting me with Grass Knot. Even though it's not very effective, Giratina is still a very heavy Pokemon, so it does a decent chunk of damage. But my Giratina's breath stank so much that the Roserade just couldn't handle it anymore and eventually died. With our second gym match in hand, we can go to the Team Galactic building, have an encounter with the Team Galactic Grunt that is apparently just Looker in disguise. Very cool. I feel like he's just a little brother where you have to take him everywhere and just say, "You're doing a good job, bro." While in reality, he's actually doing nothing. At the top of the building, we find Jupiter, and as you know, she does have a Skunk Tank, which is a dark type with Night Slash. So this took me a few attempts because Giratina might be bulky, but Night Slash still does a lot of damage since we are so underleveled. And this is exactly what I told you at the beginning. There is a big problem with Giratina not being able to deal too much damage, so Skunk Tank isn't going down very easily. Eventually though, I got lucky because I paralyzed the Skunk Tank. It didn't hit me for 1 turn, and then I was able to finish it off with 2 more Dragon Breaths and travel to Mount Coronet where we find Dawn. She gives us the Versus Seeker and the Dowsing Machine, which I'm never gonna use, but we thank her anyway, and we then go to the contest hall to meet up with our mom and Fantina. Fantina herself was no problem though, since we do have Ominous Wind, which is super effective against her entire team. But she is also super effective against my Giratina. She starts off with Duskull, but it doesn't matter because we do get the Ominous Wind boosts on our first turn. She then misses her Will-O-Wisp and we can take it out next turn after she uses the potion. Next up is Miss Magius, so we go ahead and go for the Ominous Wind once again, but we do get another set of boosts. So then Miss Magius hits us with the Confuse Ray, we hit ourselves next turn, she hits us with a Shadow Ball, and then after that we take her out. Last up is Haunter, and we do outspeed because of the boosts and take it out in 1 shot, winning our 3rd gym badge. Before we can head on to Maylene, we have to do 1 more rival battle though. Without even healing, I get into the fight Staravia versus Giratina. He does go for a double team, but my Ancient Power is just too strong, hitting it with 2 of them and killing it. Buizel is a 2-shot with Dragon Breath. Groudle is able to tank a lot of damage from my Giratina, but in the end we still come out victorious by breathing. And last up is Ponyta, who is also a 2-shot with Ancient Power and Dragon Breath. With that rival fight out of the way, I can reach Maylene at a time of 1 hour and 48 minutes. In the past, Dialga did have a lot of trouble with this fight because of his weakness against it, but Giratina yet again doesn't have any problems here. Because Ominous Wind is a 1-shot on Metatite, since it's super effective, we can easily take that out, and next up is Machoke. Going for Ominous Wind twice, getting my boost on my second Ominous Wind and then finishing it off with a Dragon Breath. Last is Lucario, and because we don't have any super effective moves and Giratina cannot learn Fire Blast, we just have to spam Dragon Breath. Hopefully he does not hit us too much, and eventually we do paralyze it and take it out in the end. Giratina right now doesn't seem to be that much behind Dialga and Palkia, but we'll see how the rest of the run continues with our next rival battle. He does start off with Staravia once again, but we can take it out the same way as last time with 2 Ancient Powers. Weasel goes down the same way like last time too, with 2 Dragon Breaths. Groudle now does have Bite, which does do a decent chunk of damage, but we probably wouldn't have survived if we didn't get these boosts. So with these boosts, we can actually overpower this Groudle that is 6 levels higher than us and take him down. Last Pokemon is Ponyta, so an Ancient Power Dragon Breath combo wins me the battle. Time to head on to the coolest gym leader of this gen, Crasher Wake. And we do actually reach him at a time of 2 hours and 13 minutes, which isn't too great actually. It does start off with Gyarados, which has a super effective move on us in Bite, but our ancient power boosts come through once again. After he wastes a potion, the Gyarados finally goes down by spamming the Rocky move. Floatzel comes out, who also does have a super effective move in Crunch, but it doesn't matter because of the boost. We can tank those very easily and take it down with 2 unanimous wins. Quagsire is last, but he doesn't do any significant damage against my Giratina, so we win this battle, and that is 5 gym badges. Time to blow up the Safari Zone. After that tragedy, we meet up with Cynthia and our rival. We get the secret potion, give it to the Psyducks, and capture ourselves our second HM Pokemon in Staravia, which we will learn Fly. Then I ran into this trainer with a Probopass, and since he is a Steel type, I didn't have anything against it, so we almost lost against the Probopass. This fight actually took me more than 10 minutes because of me missing a lot of times because of the fog and not being able to do any damage. This really made me afraid of Byron, because he has a Magneton, Steelix, and a Bastiodon, so I have no idea if I'm even gonna be able to get past that at a low level. After traversing my way through the stupid fog and missing about 80% of my moves, I finally reached the ruins to fight Cyrus. But Cyrus's team isn't buffed up yet, so we can easily sweep through this Sneasel with 2 ancient powers and getting the boosts as well. Murkrow is a one-shot too, and last up is Golbat, which we do 3-shot with Dragon Claw because he did use a potion. After saving this old lady and the ruins, we can head on to the next city because we just got Surf and fight our rival once again. Even though he wasn't a problem in the past, this fight is a little bit of a problem. And it's all because of this goddamn Torterra. At first he might just seem like a normal turtle, but he has Leech Seed. And if the turtle uses Leech Seed, that equals a loss for me, because I cannot get far enough into the battle to actually win if I'm seeded, since I lose life every single turn and I can't one-shot anything here. Except if I get enough boosts, of course. And even if I did get past the Torterra, which I did do a few times, he still has a Floatzel with a Crunch and also a Heracross with Night Slash. So Giratina really isn't built for this rival battle. I did look up his moveset and he does not have access to a fire move except for Will-O-Wisp. So yeah, this isn't looking too great. The only thing I could rely on is my boosts, like always. So that is exactly what I did. I reset it until I got enough boosts to win this battle. This did take me about half an hour of attempts, but I did manage to do it. Getting super lucky on Staraptor, getting 2 boosts from my ancient powers before heading into Torterra. Then getting even more luck by one-shotting Torterra with a critical Ominous Wind. And this isn't where the luck stops. I use another Ominous Wind on Floatzel and get another set of boosts. I then finish it off. Next out is Heracross. I cannot one-shot that. I do get hit with a Night Slash, barely does anything because of all the boosts I've gotten, and then take it out. Last up is Rapidash, which we can one-shot with an Ancient Power. While this battle might have been hard, this is nothing compared to Byron. I almost lost my mind in this battle because it took me so long until I could eventually beat his stupid Steel type Pokemon. One big problem that arises from the start is Magneton. It has Metal Sound, which can lower my special defense by 2 stages. If he then uses Flash Cannon, he does a very high amount of damage. It also didn't help that I sometimes couldn't even get past the Magneton because my attacks weren't doing enough damage and I wasn't getting the boosts that I needed. But what if I get past him? What's waiting for me there? It's a Steelix. Steelix isn't that much of a problem most of the time because its special defense is absolutely atrocious and we of course attack with special moves, but he does have a Bastiodon, one of the most bulky Pokemon you can have. And it doesn't help that my attacks are all not very effective. Probably should have tried to get myself some ATM from the market in like Thunder so that I could easily sweep him, but at the time I didn't think about that. I was just like, I have to reset until I get enough boosts so I can kill this stupid Bastiodon. He does have Metal Burst, which is a very annoying move for me. Metal Burst does more damage the more damage you take. So if I hit him with a very hard hitting move, since I get some boosts, I get the damage right back at me, so I die. But eventually though, I got all of the luck from our Lord and Savior Bidoof, and I was able to sweep Byron. The sheer amount of luck I got in this run was not normal, getting 2 boosts with Ominous Power on my first 2 turns, and after that getting a critical hit which took out the Magneton. After that I do learn Shadow Force and I replaced Dragon Claw because Shadow Force is not that bad of a move. Next Pistilix, and as you can see, an 2 times boosted Ominous Wind still doesn't even do half on this thing. So it does take 2 Ominous Winds and a Dragon Breath to take it out, and then we can finally head on to Bastiodon. I just go for the Ancient Powers because I want to get as much boosts as possible, but I don't get lucky anymore, so no more boosts for me, but eventually I am able to run out of that and go for the Dragon Breaths to take down this absolute beast. With only 5 HP left. If he would have just gone for 1 more attacking move, I would have been done, but I got very, very lucky. After that we get the HM for strength, go to the library, do all the shenanigans over there, watch the explosion, and go to our first lake battle. The first man is Saturn, having no problem with him whatsoever, one-shotting his Golbat and two-shotting his Bronzor. Last up is Toxicroak. I do go for the Shadow Force. It does just over half, but he has a Citrus Berry, so then I go for the Dragon Breath, and eventually do finish him off with 1 more Shadow Force. Easy peasy. Time to head on to the second one in Mars. She has the same team except for Perugly switched out with Toxicroak, so you can 2-shot the Golbat, 2-shot the Bronzor, and head on to Perugly. She manages to hit me with 2 feint attacks, but 3 Dragon Breaths is enough to win the second commander battle. We then walk all the way through the snow and head straight up to the next gym, which is Ice type, and we can reach this at 3 hours and 56 minutes, which is actually 10 minutes off of Palkia. So Giratina can still win this if he is very consistent in the late game. While Dialga and Palkia might not be weak to the Ice type because of their secondary typing, Giratina is though. But still, I feel like Giratina does cancel it out with his amazing bulk. So jumping right into the battle, she starts off with a Sneasel, which we do 2-shot with Ancient Powers. Frozlaz is next, and she does try to go for a double team to make me miss my move, but my Shadow Force hits and taking it out in a single hit. Piloswine actually takes a lot of hits to go down, tanking an Ominous Wind and Dragon Breath combo, then healing up, but then 2 more Ominous Winds do take it out because my second one was a critical hit. And last up is Abomasnow. Since Abomasnow apparently doesn't know any Ice type moves, since it just goes for Wood Hammer and Water Pulse? Why does it learn Water Pulse? Anyway, I'm not gonna complain since we can easily take it down by spamming Ancient Power and getting our 7th gym badge, heading up to the lake, seeing our rival lose to Jupiter once again, and heading to the Team Galactic hideout. We watch Cyrus' speech about hope and world destruction, and you know, just your standard speech that you see at every high school. And then we reach his office at 4 hours and 18 minutes, 2 minutes of the perfect mark. While Dialga and Palkia did in the past have some problems with Cyrus, Giratina doesn't seem to have this problem, 2-shotting the Sneasel and getting my boosts on my second turn. Next out came Honchkrow, so I went for an Ancient Power once again, and I got the boosts once more. He healed up with a Citrus Berry, we got hit, but we still managed to take it out with 1 more Ancient Power. Last up is Crobat, as always, and he managed to hang on from an Ancient Power and then healing up with a potion, but 2 more Dragon Breaths take it down, so we win ourselves the Master Ball, which we will use on something very important, and we can head on to the final admin battle in this building. This battle basically went the same as always, except I already ran out of Ancient Power, so I couldn't really 1-shot or 2-shot the Golbat. I had to use 3 moves against it. Bronzor was also able to tank 2 Ominous Winds somehow, so I had to use 3 moves as well. Last up was Toxicroak, which we can also 3-shot while only being left with 23 HP. With that, we can set free the Lake Trio and head on to Spear or Spare Pillar. And this double battle against the admins wasn't too easy because with Palkia I could easily just sweep through it with Surf, but with Giratina it wasn't that easy because I couldn't 1-shot anything, and for some reason every Pokemon decided to attack Giratina, so it wouldn't be able to live past like Perugly and Skuntank. Eventually though, after a bunch of attempts, I'm not gonna jump into the details of this fight because it took way too long, but we managed to complete it with Heracross's help because with Munchlax it really didn't go as smooth. Heracross was able to take down a lot of Pokemon combined with Giratina, so eventually we did win with our rival and headed on to Cyrus. Of course, we see that Dialga and Palkia make the space hole, Giratina jumps out, we see a portal that is actually a square? Why is there a square in the portal? I don't understand. And we go into the Distortion world, and I've actually figured out how to complete it very fast, so this only took me like 5 minutes and I was out. I reached Cyrus at 5 hours and 1 minute, so this isn't looking too great since we're only like 40 minutes off of Dialga's time. His ending time, that is. And we still have to do the 8th gym, the rival battle, the Elite Four, the Victory Road, and the Champion! And while Dialga and Palkia had a lot of trouble with Cyrus, Giratina actually managed to beat him on my first attempt. Since we are in the Origin world, Giratina does change into his Origin form, so he does have a lot more attack and special attack. There's nothing I can do about this. I wish I could use his normal form, but it isn't possible in the Origin world. Cyrus starts off with Houndoom, so I go for Ancient Power, I get my boost, and next turn I take out the Houndoom with another one. Next was Weavile, so I hit another Ancient Power, I get hit with an Ice Punch, but as you can see we are very bulky, so we take that like a champ, and we then take out the Weavile with one more Ancient Power. Next out comes Hunchcrow, we go for the Dragon Breath and one-shot that thing too. Crobat isn't quite a one-shot though, because he lives with a sliver of health, so 2 more Dragon Breaths do take it out after he heals up with a full restore, and last up is Gyarados. He does hit me very hard with an Ice Fang, getting a critical hit and leaving me with only 26 HP, so what I have to do now is just take it out with 2 Ominous Winds, and we can head on to Giratina himself, so Giratina versus Giratina. Well, since we are faster, we are able to 3-shot it. If we wouldn't outspeed, we actually would have lost this one, but luckily we are faster, we win Giratina, and we can head on to the 8th gym with Volkner, the electric type gym leader. No problems in this gym whatsoever, just going from our Ominous Winds on his first Pokemon Jolteon, getting a boost, and eventually taking him out. Luxray does have Crunch, which can do a lot of damage, so I decided to go for Shadow Force to take it out in 1 hit. Electivire also gets one shot by a Shadow Force, and Raichu actually puts up a little bit of a fight here, but he doesn't do a lot of damage against me, so eventually in the end we take him out with 2 Dragon Breaths. With that we can go through the Victory Road and eventually reach our rival fight for one final time. And while Dialga and Palkia had a little bit of trouble here as well, Giratina was actually able to do it on my first attempt too. 2-shotting his first Pokemon Staraptor and getting my boost on my second attempt. Next up is Torterra, so I go for Shadow Force, but it doesn't even do half. So then I go for the Ominous Wind, almost take it out, but then he goes for the Synthesis, I take him out next turn and get another set of boosts. Next out is Floatzel, so I go for one more Ominous Wind, and I got my boost once again. With the Floatzel down, he switched into Heracross, I go for the Ominous Wind once again, but he is left with like 2 HP and hits me with a Night Slash. Luckily, because of the boost, we take it very well and take him out next turn. Last up is Snorlax, but I did misclick by going for Shadow Force, but it doesn't matter in the end because we managed to take down the Fatty very quickly with some Dragon Breaths, and then a Rapidash is his final Pokemon, which goes down to some rocks in the face. With the final rival battle complete, we can head on to the first Elite Four member, Aaron. None of Giratina's predecessors have had any problems here, and he isn't gonna have any problems either, taking out the Yanmega with a single Ancient Power. Drippon is able to hit some Ice Fangs and do a few hit points of damage, but 3 Dragon Breaths to take it out. On Scizor, I actually got very lucky here because I didn't really have anything against it. I went for Ancient Power twice and he hit me with 2 Night Slashes, almost taking me out. If he would have hit one more, I would have been dead, but I get my critical hit on my final turn, which is barely enough to finish it off from this range, and I also get my boosts after that. Then Heracross comes out, which I one-shot with Shadow Force, and last up is Vespiquen, which goes down to Ancient Power. With that very lucky Elite Four member battle out of the way, it's time for the second hardest battle of this entire run, against Bertha. At first glance, it doesn't seem like Bertha has got much against Giratina, so we should be able to sweep through her, right? Wrong! The problem on our team is that almost every single one of her Pokemon is very, very bulky. Add to that Rhyperior, Gliscor, and Hippowdon hit like trucks, and you've got a Giratina destroying powerhouse. Her first Pokemon is a Wish Cache, which I can set up on with some Ominous Winds and Ancient Powers if I want to, and that is exactly what I do every single time. Then most of the time she sends out Gliscor, which is not that much of a problem, but it can do some very decent damage against me. But then the big bad Hippo comes out, which is a run ender at this point because he does have Yawn, and if he uses that I fall asleep and I will just get hit and die. It also doesn't help that it's almost not possible to one-shot him, but he does have Crunch as well, which he can do a lot of damage with. Even if I get past Hippo down, I still have Rhyperior to go, which has Earthquake, and that does a lot of damage. So with all of those things in mind, we can head on to the final run where I won, and this took me about 1 hour and 30 minutes to achieve. Of course, she starts off with Wish Cache. I go for the Ominous Wind, get my boost, go for another one. It doesn't take her out, she heals up, and I get the critical hit next turn, taking out Wish Cache, which was very lucky because I took minimal damage here. Next up is Gliscor, and here is where the luck really kicked in. Going for Ominous Wind, doing about half and getting my boosts. Then going for another one, killing it and getting another set of boosts. I was like, I have got to have this time, right? So next turn she sends out Hippo down, I go for Shadow Force because I know that it will one-shot because I have the 3 boosts up, and that is exactly what it does. Rhyperior then came out, but I got lucky because my Dragon Breath paralyzed it so it wasn't able to get off an attack, and one more took it out, and finally we have Golem. She also survived the Dragon Breath, hit me with an Earthquake, but it wasn't enough, so one more takes it out. Time to head on to Flint. Flint is no problem because he just has fire types, and Giratina has Ancient Power, two-shotting his first Pokemon Houndoom very easily. Next up is Flareon, so I went for Ancient Power once again, getting the critical hit and the boost in one turn, but we do get burned by Will-O-Wisp. Then he heals up, 2 more Ancient Powers, take it down. Then I learned the move Earth Power, and this is the first time I'm actually going to learn it to my Pokemon because it's actually useful on Giratina, and I'm going to replace Ancient Power since we still have Ominous Wind for the boosts. I then proceed to one-shot his next 2 Pokemon, Rapidash and Infernape, with Earth Power, and last up is Magmortar, which does take 2 Earth Powers, almost takes me down with a Flamethrower, only 49 HP left, but we win in the end. Finally is Will. Did you really think Will was gonna be a problem here? Nope. We have Ominous Wind. I mean, just look at this. We can two-shot the Mr. Mime with Ominous Wind. Next up is Espeon. I go for 2 more Ominous Winds and get my boost on my second one to take that thing out as well. Then Bronzong comes out. I go for Ominous Wind once again, do about half. Then I ran out of Ominous Wind, so I go for Shadow Force, take out the Bronzong too. And his last 2 Pokemon, Alakazam and Gallade, both go down to Shadow Forces, with that being the easiest Elite Four member by far. And for Dialga and Palkia, this was one of the hardest ones. I'm glad I could sweep him this time. With that, we go to Cynthia, and for the last 2, this was the hardest fight in the entire game, but for Giratina, no way. You wanna know why? Because I got super duper pooper lucky on my 3rd attempt. Yes, it only took me 3 attempts to kill Cynthia in this run. And as you can see, she starts off with Spiritomb. I go for the Ominous Wind twice and get 2 sets of boosts in the process, which is the luckiest I can get. She then heals up and I go for 2 Earth Powers to finish off the Spiritomb. Next up is Garchomp, and this was the luckiest thing in the fight. If this didn't happen, I would have lost. I went for Dragon Breath, I got the Paralysis. He didn't hit me because he got stuck in Paralysis, and next turn I can take him out without taking damage from him. Next up is Lucario, so I go for the Earth Power, of course one-shotting it. Milotic was a 2-shot with Ominous Wind and Shadow Force. Roserade was a 1-shot with Shadow Force too, and last up is Togekiss. And this was very close because I had to spam Dragon Breath until it eventually died, and he just kept on using Air Slashes, which eventually left me with 45 HP before I took it down and made myself champion with only a Giratina. But that is not why we're here. Let's check out Giratina's final time. Boom. 6 hours and 41 minutes. Yeah, that is pretty bad. That is almost an hour behind Dialga. And I would say it's very deserved because this run took me way longer than the other 2. Having to reset for hours and hours on Byron and Bertha, I think Giratina is definitely deserved of the 3rd spot of the trio. But why? Why does Giratina rank so low compared to the other 2? Well, it's because battles keep on going on for a very long time. Dialga and Palkia can one-shot or two-shot a lot of Pokemon, where Giratina sometimes needs 4 or 5 hits, which can drag the battle along very, very much. He can take a lot of hits, but if you can't dish him out, it's not gonna be as useful. So Giratina might be good, but not as good as Dialga and Palkia. With that, of course, let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon you want me to do next. And I of course want to thank my Patreon and membership supporters for supporting the channel and making these videos possible. If you want to become a member or a Patreon, the links are in the description. You get so many benefits from it: a Discord server, a Minecraft server, emotes, and a lot of other stuff. Also, if you're interested in Zwiggojr merch, the link is always in the description too, so you can check that out if you want to. And with that out of the way, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'm Zwiggojr, and I'll see you guys next time.